What the frick is up, YouTube? And today, we are gonna be doing telling a story part 2, number 4 again.
Yeah!
Alright, so the story starts and you're gonna go with 3, 2, 1. Alright, so basically what was happening is technically I saw this like campfire, and when I went to the campfire, I saw nuclear acid and decided to just drink the nuclear acid and see what happened. Bro, my butt cheeks just started getting bumpy and they started turning into cactuses somehow. I don't know how that actually happens, but then I saw a tidal wave coming for me, and then I just see SpongeBob doing the
Block doo
Gundam
doo doo.
style. And then when it happens, well, basically I just saw someone named Henry, and he starts playing this music. And when he played the music, he just started to shove a big long stick in his booty hole. And when he actually did it, he saw a bunch of pickle jars, and he decided to open them and drink them. And basically, what happened was, what he did was, he literally farted so loud that it completely just made the recoil like just change somehow. And then he was experimenting with different balls, and he was trying to see which one felt better, but he didn't know what was gonna happen. And then he saw Ariana Grande turned it into a grenade, but then after that he saw New York City and turned it into a giant like chicken nugget somehow. And then after that he just saw a chocolate ice cream cone, and then after that, he decided to blow into a CD and turn it into a backrooms game. I don't know how you really do that, but then after that, he just saw a bunch of like dogs going after him, and then he jumped into a volcano to go away from them. And then he just sees a bunch of like bacon strips just like going into his mouth somehow. And after that, he saw a ferocious animal going after him, and then, well, it was just crazy. I mean, I don't know how he did it, but he really did do it. And then after that, he didn't even know how to speak English after that. Like, after that, he thought he was all about that sandstone life, but he really wasn't. And after that, what he did was he decided to just take a whiff of his butthole. And basically, what happened was he turned old into, well, basically an old man, and then he's 80-year-old now. And well, basically what happened after that, he just saw a monster coming after a different monster, but then they started like humping each other somehow. I don't know how it really happened though, because well, basically what happened was he started screaming on the top of his lungs, and then well, his ex-wife Maria decided to just go abandon his children. And then what happened was Squidward and Mr. Krabs decided to have a date, and then they went to a steakhouse together, and they went to Applebee's and Denny's. And then what happened after that, basically what happened was he went into a world that had a bunch of like just weird faces and queens and stuff. And then basically what happened after that is he didn't even know what to do, because what he was trying to do was focus, and then he swallowed a key somehow. And then he saw a big giant, and then he went inside of a mall, and when he did, all he did was just find a Chinese guy playing music. And then he saw a monkey trying to go inside the Squid Game show. And then he saw Steve doing the Gundam style again. And then he saw a party goer. And then after that, he started to just go on top of a gazebo. And then after that, he went on the gazebo and said, play 9/11 Simulator. It's a really cool game. And then he went to India to get some cool food. But then what actually happened after that was, what happened was he decided to just go to a tsunami and just drink all the water from the tsunami and just gulp all of it up. And well, it didn't really end out pretty good. And then after that, he just found a bunch of 100 trillion stuff. And then what happened after that is he decided to just go to the military. And then he was stuck in the military forever. And after that, he wanted to just find out on how to actually geheal. And then he went into the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Actually, it was the Mickey Mouse Trap House. And he found a bunch of crack in there. I don't know how you do that, but I guess you do. And then after that, he gets sucked into a black hole. And then he finds Batman just doing a crazy dance. He's just doing the floss. And then he finds a dog eating his owner's feet and toes with peanut butter between his toes. And then he sees an eagle trying to get french fries. And then when he tries to get french fries, basically what happened is he sees Baldi's Basics and he tries to litter it out of the trash can. And I don't really know how that works, but I guess it does. He saw a toothpick shooter and decided just to fart as loud as he could. And then when he actually farted, he just didn't know what to do. He just became high after that. And he fit a bunch of pickled in his booty butt cheeks. And then he just found a metal pipe and a bee and started beating the heck out of it. And then what happened was, basically the bee just pulled up with his homies and well, after that, it was just insanely crazy because then they just started to kill him. And well, it wasn't ending out too good because after that, basically he saw a piece of cheese and decided to just put it inside of a big long hole. I don't know what the big long hole was, but then the storm blasts into a house. And then what actually happens is he saw Godzilla coming out of the water, and then he sees this thing called nut butter. He didn't even know what to do with it, but then after that, he gave this thing a high five. And then when he gave it a high five, poo poo came out of its butt cheeks. And then what happened after that is basically what happened was he saw a shark attack. And then when the shark attack happened, basically what happened was it completely just made a bunch of cheeks just jiggle like that. And then after that, somehow he didn't even know what to do with it. Like, he was so shocked he went into a castle. How does that happen? I don't really know, but then he sees a gorilla trying to do a crazy dance. When he does a crazy dance, he's just so shocked that he wants to see Eminem perform Bowser Jr.'s crazy thing. And then he saw the foundation, and when he saw the foundation, he said, "Ready or not, here I come." That doesn't make really much sense, but then after that, he decided to just poop his pants as loud as he could. Yeah, kind of like that. But basically after that, well, he didn't know what to do because then he saw the final boss trying to actually get a bunch of peanut butter and sandwiches, and then he saw the loudest room in the entire world. And then after that, basically what happened was he saw SpongeBob, and he saw SpongeBob trying to marry someone, and I don't really know who it was, but then after that, basically what happened was he saw Terry, and Terry, he didn't have a job, so he was unemployed, and what happened was, basically after that, he decided to do a bunch of stuff, and what happened was he just got a dog to hold the remote, and when he holded the remote, he saw Batman again. Batman decided to kill him, and then Batman decided to do a bunch of experiments. Batman just turned his face into a smiley face sticker. And then what happened after that was basically he saw a rooster, and it was actually a chicken somehow, and they were the same thing actually, and well, he decided to just get Sonic and get all the Chaos Emeralds, and then he turned into a golden hedgehog somehow. I mean, to be honest, if he's that and then he turns into that, it doesn't really make much sense, but I guess it kind of can at the same time, but, who really cares at that point? And then, well, basically after that, he was so shocked. Like, he was so shocked that he actually made it come to life. How is that possible? I don't really know, but then after that, he just sees a bunch of bubblefish. I don't know what a bubblefish is, but then he just turns into a crazy thing. When he turns into a crazy thing, he doesn't know what to do after that. And then when he doesn't know what to do after that, he's just, like, completely shocked. When he's so shocked, he's just, like, completely crazy. And when he's crazy, he just sees a really cool Capri Sun. He gets a bunch of Kool-Aid Jammers and Capri Suns and starts squirting them in his butthole. And it comes out of his nose somehow. Someone tell me how that actually happened because I don't really know. And then after that, basically what happened was, technically what he actually did was, he saw a Fortnite character and he had a crossbow. And how did he get a crossbow? I don't really know though, but, it was pretty cool at that point. And then what happened was, technically what he tried to do was whine for his life. It was like, save me. And what happened after that was, he was so insanely shocked that he just wanted to clap his butt cheeks as hard as he could. And what happened after that is he went on a roller coaster and he just saw a bunch of quiet people. When he saw a bunch of quiet people, he decided to turn into a skinwalker. And when he turned into a skinwalker, basically what happened was after that he saw a bomb pop. And when he saw a bomb pop, he decided to just shove it in his throat. And when he shoved it in his throat, basically what happened was he saw like a bunch of missing people, and he decided to be one of those missing people by killing himself. I don't know how you would do that, but I guess it does happen. And they never found his body after that. And well, it was pretty cool because then after that he just drank an entire energy bar. And and I don't really know how you drink an energy bar because you eat it, so I guess he just turned it liquefied. But yeah, it was a really cool thing that also happened. I mean, like, I don't know how you turn it into that, but then he turned into a jellyfish. But yeah, that's basically what happened. So if you guys want me telling a story part 3, just give me one singular like again, and I'll make a part 2. So bye bye.